YouTube, god dog it, YouTube. I'm thinking about changing to my intros, man. These intros are kind of getting a bit mundane, but feeling a bit under the weather, so hang in there with my voice. In this video on the bike, we're gonna drop some weight. We're gonna look a little bit better. We're gonna sound better. I'm pretty sure you know what I mean. So I got an exhaust on the bike. But there's a few things I want to talk about. Well, loud pipes don't save lives. I've said this in the videos before, and I'm saying it in this video. The only reason why I'm getting one is because I'm gonna shed some weight, obviously, because the bike does feel heavy. And I've had a few close calls, and I'm not saying loud pipes save lives, because if you ride defensively, you don't have to worry about not being hit. But some cars out here are not really seeing people, especially when the windows up, in super dark tints. The bike is black, so they can't see me. But whatever, let's get to the video. In this video, guys, I promise I won't ramble a lot. I'm gonna try to keep the video really simple. All we're doing is changing out the bread box and muffler section of the bike. I love the titanium. I'm keeping the titanium. The titanium's not going nowhere, even though the entire exhaust system, it's all titanium. I did not know that when I got the bike, but on a close observation of the bike, all of the piping is titanium. So like I said in all of my videos, hang on, keep your OEM parts. I can't emphasize on that enough. Keep your OEM parts. I see people selling these OEM parts for like 150 bucks on eBay. That's all titanium. You know what titanium cost in recycling centers around here? 150. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change out the exhaust system. I'll show you guys what type of exhaust system I picked up. I see this on all this type of bike everywhere. They're the least expensive exhaust systems that you could put on this bike, but you know what I mean, whatever. It's not the loudest, but to me is the most stylish. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys a sound of the cold start. It's gonna sound pretty loud with that stock muffler. I can only imagine what it sounds like with a new exhaust. All right, so for all the haters that kept saying, oh, you got a Honda tag with a Kawasaki bike. All right, I finally upgraded. Cold start. Let's do it. Man, I gotta have my hands on that muffler. What am I doing? I don't want it to get too hot, even though titanium cools pretty quick. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to take off the servo and all this stuff. I do plan to get the ECU flashed, but in this video, since I wanted to do the exhaust system first, everything off except the servo, so I can enjoy the bike until I send it off in a few days. Obviously, let's take off the seats, because you got to get to the servo wires. I'm gonna show you what the servo looks like in a second. Let me just take the seat off. Okay. What is going on with the anti-gravity sticker? This thing is too tight. All right, nevertheless, right? So if you want to know where your servo is, this device is a servo. So the reason why I'm holding this flathead is because I see a lot online, a lot of people struggle, like really struggle to take these cables off. They're so easy. All right, there's a clip. Wait, there's a clip. You see this little clip right here? You pop this clip off with a flathead. So if you turn the camera on, you see this little clip right here? You pop this off, it's gonna give you access to take the return and the open off, these two off. Once you take these two off of this little hinge thing, this is all hard plastic. But once you take this part off, these are loose. All you have to do is lift this, turn it that way, and then this part right here will come off. Just like you do on the clutch, you just pull these parts out, the cables will slide right out. This goes inside of here, right? So to take this off, you want to push down and see, just like that. So I need two hands to do this part, only because it's really tough to do it with one hand and I don't want to break anything. But basically, you see how I just took that clip out? So I'm going to take the clip off on both sides with both hands. I'm going to have this in my hand, and then you're going to see how easy this is to slide out. But the best way to do it is to pull back, take this side off first, pull this back towards you, and then you just slide it off, and then this pin will come out. Once these two pins come out, it's just basically following the wires all the way down to where the servo lives, or the flapper lives. But I'm gonna make this so simple to take the exhaust off to where you don't have to take this off, you don't have to take them off in pieces, you can take it off in one whole shot. All right, so now that I got the clip up and off, here's the clip. These slide back. But I just discovered an easier way to do this. Put the key in ignition. When this turns, or this one turns, is when you want to pull these off. But I'm gonna try to take this off without doing all that. So I'm gonna try to, basically you just pull this back and push it that way upward. And once you pull it upward, this is gonna get loose. And when this is loose, you can just take that off. To take this side off though, you have to put the key in ignition. All right, so all I did was slide this back. It's not even that big. And then this part, you just take forward, slide up. Now that part is off. Same thing for the other side. You pull this back out, and then you lift it like I did this. So now that this part is loose, all I have to do is just slide it down. Look, when you put this back, this is so easy to remember. But always take photos of how it's set up first, so that way if I have to put it back, I remember the setup, or I can just look back at some of my old videos. Servo cables, completely loose. It's very simple where they travel. They literally go from here, they go this way, and then they literally just wrap like that. They're right here. They're already loose. So I'm gonna take the exhaust off. So I'm gonna start back here. I'm gonna take this bolt off. And then there's another one on the other side holding the muffler in place. Let me go to the other side of the bike and I'll show you. It's right there. It's that bolt right there. So I'm gonna take this off, the one on the top on the other side. And then there's more than enough room to slide that bread box back to pull it off the exhaust. Oh, I'm sorry, there's one more that's holding the bread box to the header, which is this guy right here. Take that off, and then all of this will slide back, including the cables. Everything will slide off the bike, and then I can put on a new exhaust. Real quick YouTube, so I got this loose, right? To take this side off right here, you have to take off this bolt for the fairing. So I took it off already. All right, so what you want to get to is that Allen head back there, but the other side, it's held in place. I didn't realize that until just now, but that's okay. We're gonna get this exhaust off today. That's what's important. All right, while I take this off, you know, I don't really see videos online where anyone's taking the muffler system off this bike. I wonder why. It's not that hard, but I'm curious as to why there isn't many videos on YouTube on how to take the exhaust off this bike. I guess dealers are like, no, don't put that type of video out. We don't want people touching their bikes in that kind of way. Or people are a bit afraid. Like, you don't see the process. I like to show the process, so if you're doing this to your bike, you're not having a hard time. Oh, look, there's the cables right there. I can pull these out right now. Yup. Still coming out little by little, but it'll eventually come out of that. That finger strength is where it's at, boy. You hear that exhaust in the background? That bike's going, boy. That bike's getting the miles in. Yeah. Hey. It's pulling these servo cables out because there's nothing really holding the muffler onto the bike. Like nothing, literally, except this. But this is easy to take off. I'll take this off right now, as a matter of fact. I don't need these pegs. I'm not keeping the pegs, the passenger pegs, but I'm not getting rid of it either. You know what? I think it'll be easier if I just take off. I think it'll be easier if I take off my my servo cables first, so that way once this bolt comes out, the muffler's gonna want to drop and hang, and I don't want to put a lot of tension on the cables to where my hands are hurting to take these out. So let me just try to wiggle these through out of the side of the bike. Oh, it's right there. Okay. All right, now that we got the servo cables out, all I can pretty much got to do is just pop this part of the muffler off the bike. It's gonna want to drop. I just gotta just let it go. I don't want it to scratch. Resale value. Okay, so basically all I have to do now is just pull the entire muffler backwards towards the rear wheel, and it's gonna come off. This muffler does not weigh 4 pounds, so I'm gonna need 2 hands obviously, but when I put the new one on, hopefully I can record that part because it's not as heavy as this one. All right, so I took it off. All I had to do was just slide it back. I'm gonna try to do this with one hand. Just push the cables through. Come on. Boom. For the new exhaust, you're gonna have to keep this clamp, this header clamp thing. Here, let me just put this down. I'll show you what I mean. Oh shit! There it is, right there. I hate that, boy. That gives you no flames. Now that I know it's inside of the bread box, I know the exhaust is gonna be like spitting flames everywhere. But you have to keep this. But I'll come back to the old exhaust. Let me go grab the new one and reveal what exhaust we're going with it. But yeah, man, it's just that simple. Man, look at all that space, boy. Damn, the bike looks different just like this. What? Yo, you know what I was wondering? What does it sound like without a muffler? Sound test without a muffler, just headers on the ZX10R. All you see is an O2 sensor. All right, sound test, cold start. Holy sh! I think I woke up my neighbors. I don't like that sound. It's too loud. It's too loud. It's way too loud. Jesus. So the exhaust that we got is the M4 exhaust. Is the GP19. I like the GP19 mainly because it has that sharp point at the top. So this is the exhaust I had on the ZX6R. It's the same one I want on the ZX10. I'm surprised they even had this for the ZX10, but whatever. This is gonna look nice with the color, with the black bike. It looked nice with the ZX6R. I believe it's gonna look very, very nice with the ZX10R. All right, so let's just pop this guy open. And let's look at the exhaust. I mean, I'm sure you guys seen this. I want to see it for myself. Oh, it's tiny. Oh yeah, it's tiny. It comes with the bong. What? It comes with the bong, and yeah, so this bolt gets reused because they send this nut, and the one on the OEM exhaust does not come off. So if you look over at the OEM, this one is kind of welded in place. Like, you cannot take this out. I mean, you can bend this, but like I said, I want to reuse all of my OEM parts in case, because this is titanium. Oh, look at that. You can really see the titanium now. But the bread box obviously is not. Whatever. Whatever. So this bolt won't come off. They send you one with the exhaust system for this to go in, to hold this in place. And then this is for the O2 sensor, because the O2 sensor I'm going to completely remove. Like, the wiring, everything is going to come out when that video comes out, or when I'm ready to publish that video. I'll show you how to remove the O2 sensor wiring and everything. Oh, it does come with a clamp. Let me just take it out of the box. Okay, so real quick, that bong that I thought was going to be for the O2 sensor is actually not. What I'll do is, when I get to that part of the video, when I get the ECU flash and take the O2 sensor out, I'll go to the parts store, I'll take the O2 sensor with me, and then we'll match it up to figure out which one is the right size. But in the meantime, let's talk about this one. So that bong goes here. I did put red Loctite, so don't think I just put it on there, because it will vibrate loose. This part you do have to loosen. I thought that inner part you will need, but this is an exact fit for the header that's already on the bike. So let me see if I can record me fitting this on the bike. I might struggle a little bit, but bear with me, guys. Yeah, I'm definitely struggling. Come on, damn it. It goes like this. I need 2 hands. All right. For some reason, I like working hard. I don't know what it is, but whatever. I finally got it on. So once you get it all the way seated, the exhaust all the way seated to the header, put this first slide this clamp off because this clamp is going to get in the way, right? And now it doesn't want to cooperate. Just take it off some more. All right, now I have it in place. What I tend to do is I tend to bring it all the way to the very front of the header. Not the very, very front, but close to it, to where when I snap this down in place, it's gonna really grab. And I try to get this out of the way. Not like this. I'm just showing you the purposes of how close you wanna have it to the edge. And then, all right, the most important part is that hole back there. So you wanna line the muffler up, the exhaust up, to where that hole lines up perfectly like that. And then put that screw in. So here, let me grab it real quick and I'll show you what I mean. All right, so once you put this bolt in place, don't forget your Loctite. Put this bolt in place. So now you got this one tightened, this one tightened. You just got to grab this little one here. Tighten down this one. Then the muffler is in place. So I'm gonna step back so you guys can really get a look at how much of a difference that muffler makes. Oh my. Yeah, man. Try to tell people that black look on a black bike with that sharp top tip like this, the GP19, this part of the muffler really makes it look like an aero muffler versus that squared off flat. I don't like it too much. This one to me looks a lot better. My boot is gonna get hot. All right, so let's do a sound test. Cold start on the M4 slip-on exhaust with the baffle in. I pray it's a little bit quiet. Please, God, be a little bit quiet. Nope. But to me, it sounds just right. All right, YouTube, let me put the bike back together and we'll close out the video.